So the next one I want to show you is 102 here. Let me go to the project. 102 is the Caesar cipher, and this is going to use this thing called Cryptool, which I already downloaded on my Mac. So that's going to be in my downloads folder. And there it is, set up Cryptool. So I'm going to put that in my Windows virtual machine. All right, and now I'm going to try and run it. Let's see how it works. They keep updating this product and changing things, so that's why I figured I'd put everything in this video, including the installation process. Should be easy, but you never know. English would be fine. And whatever you say is fine. I don't care. I agree to whatever. All the defaults are fine. I just want it to work. There we go. Now, I might need to install .NET. This is a .NET-based application. And Windows comes with some version of .NET installed, but very often you have to go find some other version of .NET. .NET is Microsoft's competitor with Java, and just like Java, it is an amazing pain to work with. Very, very often you don't have the right version. Let's launch it now and see if it runs. All right, well, looks like it's starting. I don't want to turn on the firewall. I'm leaving it alone. I'm throwing away this installer. All right, 14%. It might load up, or it might give me some error saying I need to install .NET. We will see. This is Windows 11 running on Apple Silicon, so you may have a different experience if you have an Intel processor or Windows 10, but looks like it's working. It's assembling it, loading a bunch of assemblers or adding plugins. Okay, stuff is happening. 99%. Ooh, there it is. Looks like it's going to work. Okay. So here's my instructions. I guess I'll just leave them out here. So we're going to crack a classical cipher. We're going to use the wizard. Cryptanalysis classic. Okay, use the wizard. Here, let me make this maximum. All right, use the wizard. Cryptanalysis. Next. And classic. Next. And I want Caesar. All right. Next. All right, and now it gives me an example ciphertext here. And you can see it's unreadable gibberish. And it's actually in German. I'm just going to leave it in German at first. This is a German product, so the default is German. I'll go next. And now it's going to go through an algorithm cracking it. And as you can see, it deciphered it here. Gaius Julius Caesar. Now it appears to be German, so it's hard to read, but it found that the key was a shift of 5. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see how it did it. It did it by frequency analysis. So here it is calculating how many times each letter appeared. And the most popular letter by far is J, because this is German. And J is the most common letter in German. So you can see it used that frequency analysis to deduce how to crack a Caesar cipher. All right, so you see how it was done? All right, so now we're going to decrypt this, and the flag would be the author of that quote. So you can decrypt something. Just copy this, and you can put it back here. If I go back and just do it again, wizard, cryptanalysis, next, classic, next, and Caesar, next. I can erase that stuff and paste in my other stuff and tell it that it's English. And now it will try to crack it when I hit next. I'm not going to do it, but it'll do the same thing. It'll do a frequency analysis and crack it. And you can practice using a lot of different encryption skills. This thing was designed to teach people at a bank how to do encryption. So there's various things to decrypt. Here's one that'll work easily. Here's one where you're going to have to search online for other tools because it's too short, I think. Actually, you can do it here. This one you're going to have to find a third-party tool. So that's why every project has some required parts, and then some extra credit parts. So you can do the easy parts and just skip it if you're a beginner and it's too hard to do the hard parts. There'll be plenty of opportunity to get extra credit. And while I'm at it, let's try 103. We'll just put these two together because they both use the same tool. This is a substitution cipher. So we're going to use the wizard and use cryptanalysis and classic monoalphabetic substitution. Let's take a look at that. So I'll go wizard, and I think it's cryptanalysis. That's your cryptanalysis. Next, classic next, and monoalphabetic substitution next. All right, so again, we've got an example of some drivel in English. You can't read it, but notice it does have the length of the word. So here's a B. That's pretty much got to be an A or an I. Here's another B. That's probably A. So I'm guessing it's probably a shift of one letter. But anyway, let's go next and see how it does at cracking it. Oh, it's not a shift. It's a monoalphabetic substitution. So each letter is replaced by another letter, but there's not a simple pattern. And so here it is doing an attack, guessing different keys, trying 31,000 keys per second. And when it succeeds, it will get the thing decrypted. There's the key. And notice this, in cryptography, a substitution cipher, it looks like it found it already. In cryptography, a substitution cipher is a method. I wonder where the answer shows on the screen. Down here, okay, there it is. So here it is, in cryptography, a substitution cipher is a method of encryption, and so on. It cracked it, and here's the key. An A goes to a Y, a B goes to an A, and so on. See, just a scrambled mess, not as simple as just shifting everything one letter, a certain number, fixed number of letters. Now, you might think it would be difficult to do this because the actual number of possible combinations is very large, but again, frequency analysis will do it for you. You can just find the most common letter, and that's probably got to be E or T, and so after you got a few letters, you can then look for patterns like two-letter words and such and guess them. It looks like they used a more mathematical technique here, but anyway, there are a bunch of algorithms that quickly crack this sort of thing, and that's an example. And there's some things here you can crack. All right, it talks about the different kinds of attacks here. All right, and I think there's, looks like I didn't bother with the AES crack. Oh, we're going to use, yeah, the AES is going to come up much later. All right, so those are the first three projects. And that's all I plan to demonstrate tonight. So I'm going to stop the recording.